What's up, everybody? I wanted to take a moment to go through a grow tent setup and what that would look like. I'll keep it short. I mean, you can talk for hours about grow tents, but as I could probably bore everybody else, but it is something that's very affordable. This grow tent is 4x4 by, I believe, 7, and I got it on Amazon for about I want to say it was $80. And then I just have a desk fan in here, some grow lights. I'm gonna try not to blind you. Some grow lights here, grow light there, and a humidifier down here. And then there's another fan right over here as well. First of all, you got to think about when you're getting a grow tent, what are your plans, right? What are the future plans? Nepenthes, they do grow fairly fast, depending on the variety, and they will need larger space. For instance, all of these little ones you see here are all truncatas that at full growth one of them would take up this entire grow tent. So I bought this knowing full well that at some point in the future I'm going to have to substantially upgrade based on what I'm wanting to do. The other thing you want to look for, Nepenthes in general need a few things to survive and to thrive. One is light. They need about 16 hours. Some say 14, 16 hours of sunlight, indirect sunlight. So if you are growing them outside, you want to make sure you have about a 50 to 60% shade cloth. Indoors, you can use LED lights. And then what I personally like, and we'll talk in later videos, are grow lights that you can adjust the light setting on. Not all Nepenthes are made the same. Some like higher light, some like lower light. And so having that adjustable knob is a great tool to be able to determine where you place your Nepenthes. So, light is number one. Two, they need airflow. And so you want to make sure that you have fans strategically placed. I mean, you don't have to go crazy with it. As you can see, I just have 2 fans in here. Just ensuring, as you can see, the plants are sort of blowing around in the breeze. Nothing crazy. It's just enough to make sure they're very receptible to root rot and stem rot, and so keeping a good airflow on them, especially with the kind of high humidity they require, will assist a lot in ensuring that they grow successfully, they stay healthy. And then 3, humidity. You don't need a giant humidifier for a space this big. You want something that'll keep the ambient humidity relatively high. It's a little hard to see right now, but the temperature is about 76 degrees. Humidity is about 60%. It has gone down a little bit since I opened the grow tent, but it usually sits around 65, 70% humidity, and that is a good sweet spot. Some of the lowlanders like a little bit more than that, but more is not necessary. 65, 70%, and you'll be doing just fine. But because of the high humidity, as I mentioned, they will need a lot of airflow. High airflow does not mean low humidity, right? So both of those things can exist at once. A lot of people, it's a misnomer, think if you have a higher airflow, you're going to have a lower humidity, and that is just not the case. Also, when you're strategically placing, or rather when you're placing your Nepenthes, you need to be strategic about it. So for instance, the Ime and Stenophylla back here, they like, especially the Stenophylla, likes a high amount of light. So I got them on a shelf that puts them up closest to my grow lights. Now, you have other plants that, let's see if I can find, it's a little hard to see down there, but that is a SB1. They do not like a lot of light and they will burn, and that's why I have them on this. As far as watering, you want to make sure that their sphagnum is moist, but not soaking wet. Like I said, they are very prone to root rot, and once they start getting root rot, it is nearly impossible to save them. I have saved them. This one in particular, this SB1, was saved, but look at how the leaves are growing. It's alive for all intents and purposes, but that's just about it. Like, it has not produced a picture in months. And so when I picked up that pot, it is waterlogged, and as a result, it got substantial root rot, and it's only one of about 2 that I've been able to save. So you definitely want to make sure that you watch out for that. Also, understand, and I said this in an earlier video, understand what conditions your plants need. So you'll notice I've got this fan directed directly on these truncatas. And the reason why I do that is a lot of them, they are more epiphytic, they have thicker leaves, so they like to be less moist than most Nepenthes. And so I keep the fan directly on them. These are also little Veitchii that I keep the fan on. Same thing, very epiphytic. Don't want a lot of water on them. Now, on bigger setups, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, but on bigger setups, you can use a spray system. I choose to hand water them. One, it's a smaller setup. Two, it helps me when I water to get, I don't have any water coming out of this, but basically get onto the moss without getting on the leaves. A lot of the Nepenthes I grow have Rob Cantley in them and Truncata in them, and both of those are highly, highly susceptible to what's called oedema. And I made a video on this earlier, but if you look at this Rob Cantley is healthy, but it looks awful. See those leaves? That is a bad case of oedema. And essentially what that is the water there's too much water. It gets into the cellular layer of the leaf. It then separates, swells the cells, they burst, and they create this unsightly brown. It also slows down the plant substantially. These pictures should be much larger than they are, but they currently look like this. It will heal itself, it just will take time. Truncatus, same thing. As you can see here, there's some oedema going on there. But even your hybrids, so this is a Rob Cantley by Sibuensis ventricosa, and you can see here, that is oedema. That is not a fungus, that is oedema occurring there. And so not only is it unsightly, but it will slow the growth of your plant considerably. That is all. I'll wrap up this video. We'll talk a little bit more. I want to go in depth, especially about these lights. We'll do that in a later video once I get my voice back. I hope you guys are having a great day. And as always, have fun collecting these. Hit me up in the comments if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer anything that you have. And as tacky as it sounds, please like and subscribe. Is my goal in this channel to get the word out as much as I can to as many people as I can about the awesomeness that are these plants. Have a great night, everybody.